What if I told you that most people don't actually fail at budgeting because they're bad with money, but because they're using the wrong system? That was me. For years, I tried to budget. I downloaded apps, watched videos, even made spreadsheets I never opened again. Every time I started motivated, and then a few weeks later, I'd fall right back into the same habits, spending too much, saving too little, and wondering where my money even went. So I decided to do something different. Instead of trying one budgeting method and hoping it works, I challenged myself to test 5 of the most popular budgeting systems in the United States, all in 1 month. 5 methods, 30 days, real income, real expenses. No shortcuts. Each method got its own time to prove itself, and by the end, I wanted a clear answer to one simple question. Which budgeting method actually works in real life? And trust me, the results surprised me. Before I started, I set a few ground rules to keep things fair. First, I used the same monthly income throughout the challenge. No extra money, no side income, nothing changed. Second, I tracked every single dollar I spent, every coffee, every grocery run, every random purchase that usually slips through unnoticed. Third, I gave each budgeting method about 6 days. That might not sound like a lot, but it was enough to understand how it feels in daily life. And finally, no cheating. I didn't mix methods or adjust rules halfway through. I committed fully to each one. So let's start with the first method, the 50-30-20 rule. If you've ever searched for budgeting advice, you've probably seen this one. It's simple, clean, and easy to remember. 50% of your income goes to needs, things like rent, groceries, insurance, utilities. 30% goes to wants, eating out, entertainment, shopping. And 20% goes to savings or paying off debt. When I started using this method, I'll be honest, it felt amazing. For the first time, budgeting didn't feel restrictive. I didn't feel like I had to cut out everything fun. I could still order takeout, grab a coffee, or buy something small without guilt, as long as I stayed within that 30%. It felt balanced, like I was finally doing money the right way. But after a couple of days, reality started to hit. My needs weren't fitting into 50%. Rent alone took up a huge portion of my income. Then you add groceries, gas, bills, and suddenly I was way over that 50% limit. So now I had a problem. Either I cut back on essential expenses, which isn't always realistic, or I break the rule. And that's when I realized something important. This method works great in theory, but real life doesn't always fit neatly into percentages, especially in the US where the cost of living can vary so much depending on where you live. Rent, healthcare, insurance, it adds up fast. By the end of those 6 days, I still liked the simplicity of the method. It was easy to follow and great for beginners, but it wasn't flexible enough for my actual situation. So I moved on to the next method, zero-based budgeting. This one is completely different. Instead of dividing your income into percentages, you assign every single dollar a job. By the end of the month, your income minus your expenses should equal 0. That doesn't mean you spend everything. It just means every dollar is planned. Savings, assigned. Bills, assigned. Fun money, also assigned. Nothing is left unaccounted for. When I started this method, I felt incredibly organized. I sat down and planned everything. Rent, groceries, gas, subscriptions, savings, even a category for random expenses. It felt like I had total control over my money. And for the first couple of days, it worked perfectly. Every time I spent money, I knew exactly where it was coming from. But then something unexpected happened. A random expense showed up. Something small, but not planned. And suddenly, my entire system was off. Now I had to go back, adjust categories, move money around, and rebalance everything. And that's when I realized how demanding this method is. It's not just budgeting, it's constant budgeting. You have to stay on top of it every single day. Miss something, forget to track a purchase, or underestimate a category, and everything falls apart. It also takes time, a lot of time. This isn't something you set once and forget. It requires attention, effort, and consistency. But here's the thing. It works. If you stick to it, it gives you complete clarity and control over your money. By the end of those 6 days, I felt more aware of my spending than ever before. But I also felt tired. This method is powerful, but it's not easy. Next, I tried something completely different, the cash envelope system. This method is as old school as it gets. You withdraw cash from your bank account and divide it into physical envelopes, one for groceries, one for gas, one for entertainment, one for shopping. And here's the rule. When the cash in an envelope runs out, you stop spending in that category. No exceptions. At first, this felt strange. In a world of credit cards, mobile payments, and online shopping, using cash felt outdated. But I committed to it. And within the first day, I noticed something surprising. I became extremely aware of my spending. When you swipe a card, it's easy. You don't really feel the money leaving your hand. But when you hand over actual cash, it's different. You feel it. I remember paying for a meal and physically watching the money leave my hand, and it made me pause. Do I really want to spend this? That moment of hesitation doesn't exist with digital payments. And because of that, I started spending less. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. But this method isn't perfect. It's not practical for everything. Online purchases, not possible with cash. Subscriptions, still digital. And carrying cash everywhere isn't always convenient or safe. By the end of the week, I appreciated the discipline it created, but I also knew it wasn't realistic for modern life. Then I moved on to the fourth method, pay yourself first. This one completely changes how you think about money. Instead of saving what's left after spending, you save first. The moment you get paid, a portion of your income automatically goes into savings or investments, and then you live on whatever remains. So I set it up. Automatic transfers to savings, automatic contributions to investments, before I even touched my money. And something interesting happened. I stopped worrying about saving, because it was already done. No matter what happened later, whether I spent too much, underestimated expenses, or had an unexpected cost, I knew I had already saved money. And that feeling was powerful. It removed the stress of trying to save, because I wasn't trying anymore. It was automatic. Of course, this method isn't perfect either. You still need discipline. If you overspend after saving, you can still run into problems. But compared to everything else I tried, this felt sustainable, simple, effective, low effort, and honestly, kind of freeing. Finally, I tried the last method, no budget. Yes, this is a real approach. No categories, no tracking, no rules. Just one idea. Spend less than you earn. That's it. At first, it felt amazing. No spreadsheets, no apps, no stress. I could just live my life and not think about money all the time. But within a few days, things started to slip. I wasn't tracking anything, so I had no idea where my money was going. Small purchases added up, random spending increased, and even though I wasn't doing anything crazy, I was slowly losing control. By the end of those 6 days, I realized something important. This method only works if you already have strong money habits. If you don't, it's a recipe for overspending. So after 30 days of testing 5 different budgeting methods, what did I learn? First, there is no perfect system. Every method has strengths and weaknesses. The 50-30-20 rule is simple but not always realistic. Zero-based budgeting is powerful but time-consuming. The cash envelope system builds discipline but feels outdated. Pay yourself first is simple and effective but still requires awareness. And the no-budget method, it's only safe if you already know what you're doing. But the biggest lesson wasn't about the methods, it was about behavior. Because at the end of the day, budgeting isn't about math, it's about habits. You can have the best system in the world, but if you don't stick to it, it won't work. And even a simple system can change your life if you actually follow it.